The Prime Minister said yesterday we're in an extraordinary period where we have to reset our long-standing relationship with the United States. President Trump saying on social media that he did just speak with Mark Carney, and he sounds, like he's not looking for confrontation here. Trump saying it was an extremely productive call. We agree on many things, and we'll be meeting after Canada's upcoming election. Right, so this week we heard that Canada and India are taking steps to cool diplomatic tensions and strengthen trade ties, in part to counter these US tariff threats. So how much potential is there in trade with India? Let's get more from Victor Thomas, President and CEO of the Canada-India Business Council. Thanks very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you. Great to be here.
You say it's a no-brainer. Canada should work aggressively to increase trade with India.
Well, of course, when you look at economies around the world and you look at places that actually have complementary type values, but also interests, India will be the largest growth economy, not just for 1 or 2 or 3 years, but for the foreseeable future. And it's an economy that's the 5th largest economy in the world and will move by the end of this decade to the 3rd largest economy in the world. So when we look at a country like this and you look at the complementarity, why not do a lot more with the largest growth economy in the world?
There's a new face, obviously, in the prime ministerial chair in Canada right now. We don't know for how long. But you think the departure of Justin Trudeau could be an opportunity to reset India-Canada relations?
There's no question. Prime Minister Carney, just before becoming the leader of his party, came out and said, and I quote, "There are opportunities to rebuild the relationship with India." And so I think you see both national candidates vying for prime minister, both making a significant shift towards saying, okay, given everything that's going on with the US, we need major economies like India. And we believe that is a soft reset now with the former prime minister leaving, but there's much more to be done post-election.
So it looks like the latest figures I have are 2022, so I'm a bit out of date here. But in goods, India has a pretty good surplus with Canada. 2022 was more than 8 billion of exports in goods, whereas India bought 5 billion in goods from Canada. But in services, we have a big surplus. We have a big surplus. Canada has with India. Where are the main areas that trade between the two countries could be expanded?
Well, you just look at the basics. It's a country that's now the most populous nation on earth. It's a country that is, as I said, has significant growth, and like-minded countries are going to be moving toward. I was just there last week. The Prime Minister of New Zealand was there with a massive trade delegation, and they're entering free trade talks with India. But so when you look at the basics of what India is going to need, it's going to need much more food, which Canada has, and it's going to need much more energy, which Canada has, just as baseline. And then you can go all kinds of other things. But what you're going to be seeing is it's one of the largest moves from folks in poverty up the socioeconomic ladder to the middle class. And what do they want? They want to have better quality food on their table, higher quality proteins, and they want energy to fuel not just their homes, but smartphones and everything else that we take for granted here in Canada.
What are the roadblocks right now? Have Canadian firms been aggressive enough? Have they taken enough time to look into opportunities in India?
Well, I think the challenges that we're actually seeing, given our neighbors to the south have changed their tune. They've been such a reliable and strong trading partner. We haven't had to look very far for very long. And so, when you look at the opportunity, we need companies in this country to actually go, where's your India strategy? It may not be the right fit for everyone, but I think the companies that are currently in India have done quite well, and they're in it for the long haul. And we need a lot of other companies to step up at this time when diversification is the name of the game, to say, okay, let's actually look properly, analyze effectively at that long-term outlook. What's our India strategy and how do we actually go about doing it? And I think when companies do that, I think more than not, we'll see that there's significant opportunities and we'll pivot towards India.
There is this nagging question, though. There are concerns that the Modi government in India has been meddling in Canadian politics. That seems to be an overhang here.
Well, look, we'll leave that to the officials and security intelligence, and those things, if happening, need to be dealt with. But when you look around the world, there's not many countries that share similar values, but also similar interests. And I say that because there are challenges right throughout the world. And when you look at the opportunities that these two countries have, we have to go through and understand that we may not agree on everything. No country's perfect, but there is upside to actually work together in this multipolar world that's literally changing almost by the week.
There's quite a lot of people in the South Asian diaspora live in Canada, so I guess there's family links, there's long-standing business links between the two countries as it is.
There's no question. There's phenomenal people linkages. There has been great investment and trade between the two countries, but when you put it into the context overall, we do so much with the U.S. that our trade with India is less than a week's trade with the U.S. And I think that just puts it in the context of where you see the relationship with a country like India going, and where you see some of the challenges we're seeing with the U.S. And so the diversification piece is key, and we've probably got to do more than work weeks worth of trade with the U.S. with India in the weeks, months, and years ahead.
For sure. That seems like that could be achieved far too low right now. Victor, thank you very much indeed.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Victor Thomas, President and CEO of the Canada